Hello my beautiful people. In today's video, I'll be going over my process of what I went through to plan my backpacking trip through Europe. I went to 7 different countries in 30 days. I went to Budapest, Hungary, Sibiu, Romania, Sofia, Bulgaria, Thessaloniki, Greece, Athens, Greece, Geneva, Switzerland, Paris, France, and Amsterdam, the Netherlands. First, I do want to start with why I took this trip. If you watched my past videos, you've seen that I've graduated. So this was like a graduation present to myself for, sticking with it. I definitely had some inspirations behind it too. My mom is like a world traveler. She always has been. She travels a lot for work, but she also travels a lot for like her. She's just been plenty of places, and I remember being a kid and she'd just be flipping through her passport of all the stamps of the places she'd been, and I was just like, yeah, she's living life. Oscar, he lived in Spain and Mexico for a while. That gave me like the courage to go for as long as I went, for a month, because I feel like most American vacations are like a week tops. It barely reaches 2 weeks sometimes, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna go over everything that I did to prepare myself for this trip. I hope this helps you in any type of way to prepare for your trip, because this was amazing and I'm so happy I was able to do this. I was so blessed that I was able to do this, and I just want to help the next person be able to do it. In this video, I'll be going over how I planned my route, the accommodations, food, how to use the Eurail app, things I wish I knew, the book bag that I used, and of course, the money. Everybody want to know the money. You just decided that you wanted to do this Euro backpacking trip, and first thing you got to do is write it down. Here's mine's right here. I initially planned to go September, early October, and I didn't know if I wanted to do Europe or South America. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just going in. You have to, when you do this, you have to like really think big. So you can see all the countries that I picked, or like I initially thought I was going to want to go to. Pull the map up, look at it, and just pick wherever you want to go. Then after you do that, try to organize it in some type of loop, a line. I started on the east, went south, then went west. You can do whatever route you want to do. You don't even have to do this many places. This is where you have to come in and like create. Like, this is what I wanted to do. Yeah, so you write it down. So now it's time to create the route. The best way to do it is to go into the Eurail website and just go in there and go to the plan your route tab, and it will bring up a map of Europe, and then you can just type in each country that you want to go to, and it would show you a route. It can recommend you a route or routes that people already did. This was mine. After you get to this part, it helps with picking what Eurail ticket to buy, because you're doing the planning on the website. You might as well look at the tickets. There's multiple different types of tickets that you can get through Eurail. I did the 7 days and 1 month. When planning this trip, plan for you to have the unlimited pass. You probably won't need it, but just plan that way so you can, that's how you think big. Just plan like you're going to be there. You got endless money and time doesn't matter. When we get deeper into planning, it will slim down, I promise. They have the unlimited pass. I wanted that. It would have been a waste of money. The 7 days and 1 month really, I used all 7 train rides, and I made a few mistakes too. So I like lost 1 or 2. It's fine though. Like, that was fine. It was perfect. That one was $269. I feel like that was the best bang for my buck. I used all my train rides and I didn't have to buy anything extra. When creating your route, when you click on any country in the Eurail website, it will bring up recommended cities to check out. And if you don't know, just look them up on YouTube. Just like how you found this video, look up every country that you want to visit, or every city in that country that you might want to visit on YouTube, and see if that's, if it's for you or not. When I was planning my route, I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't really do it all too much until I bought my actual ticket. And the route that I originally wanted to go got canceled, so I had to do the route that I ended up doing, and it helped. The way I found this new route was when I went on Eurail. You can like look up different routes. Like, I had to do, how do you get from Budapest to Thessaloniki, and literally the route came up. But the person said they caught the train from Budapest to Romania, and then caught the train from Romania to Bulgaria, and then caught a bus from Bulgaria to Thessaloniki, and that's how I ended up doing it. You might not always just ride the train, because I even flew to Switzerland, so you might have to do different things if you want to go all over like that. If you're not feeling it, but you still have to go there, or that's just still the best like financial way to go, just spend a night there or just spend 2 nights there. You don't have to stay that long, and then just stay where you're trying to go longer. Because I knew I wanted to go to Budapest and I knew I wanted to go to Greece. Everything, how I got there in between, I was pretty much open to. I was like, I ended up going to Sibiu because it was the city of eyes. That's like one of my favorite organs. That's how I ended up there. Like, I have so many tattoos of eyes, it's kind of crazy. Then I had to go to Bulgaria to get to Greece, and I ended up only being there one night, and that was fine. It was all I really wanted there was that one night. Cool, so that's planning your route. This is the best part of like planning everything, is planning a route, because it's like, okay, when am I going to go see? Where am I going to go? When am I going to eat? Like, what is the weather going to be like? Yeah, all that jazz. So I feel like this was my favorite part of this whole process, was planning my route. My biggest tip for buying these tickets, when I was leaving Sibiu, Romania, I didn't know that there was an hour time difference from Sibiu and Budapest. So I missed my train. I had got up at 4:55. Well, I thought it was 4:55, but it ended up being 5:55 when I got to the train station. And then I asked the lady in the train station, where's the train? She was like, oh, but it already came. I'm like, what? And she like showed me the clock. I'm like, oh shit, I've been here for like 5 days and I've been an hour off this whole time. So I had to like get another train ticket. But since I already activated my ticket on Eurail, it still counted as me riding the train. That's what I'm saying. If you can have an extra train ride or an extra two, just in case something like that happens and you don't run out and you don't make it to the end of your trip or whatever, that's my recommendation. At least have one extra train ride on top of your complete journey. Accommodations. Everybody has their personal preference of how they want to stay when they go on vacation. This is a vacation, but you are trying to survive. This can be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what your pocket's looking like. You know what I'm saying? Your pockets might be deeper than mine. So you might can, do a different way. But me, I had to stay in hostels. The hostel environment in Europe did not really creep me out. Yes, I did want privacy at times. Yes, it was kind of like annoying when you have somebody in the room that like stink, or they snore really loud, or they're just dirty. Like, people be dirty. But hostels didn't bother me to the point where I felt like I really could not take it. It never got to a point where I was like, okay, what the fuck? So the way I found all of these hostels was the app Hostel World. So Hostel World is, you can type in any country, any city, and it's going to bring up, it's like, I don't know, it's like Priceline or like Expedia. It's like a website for that, but it's hostels. And they range from different prices. You can get the dorm, stay in the dorm and sleep in like bunk beds, or you can get private rooms, which is cool too, because like if you like going with somebody, y'all can put up for a private room and it would equal as if both of y'all would stay in the dorm. So I stayed in all dorms. When I got to Paris, I was blessed to have a friend, Lainey, there to stay with. So that was like the major break I got from hostels. But everywhere else, I was in a hostel. When looking on Hostel World, there's going to be plenty. The filters that I always used were, do they got security lockers, locker storage, and free Wi-Fi. Some hostels offer free breakfast, which would have been cool, but they obviously cost more. But those were the three I always used, because no matter what, I needed some Wi-Fi. I needed to be able to lock my shit up, and if I like had still time in the city and didn't want to leave, I wanted to be able to leave my bag there while I like walk around for like whatever last bit of time I was going to be in that country. This is like a little tip. When you're booking the hostel, if you have the time, see how far it is from the train station that you will be going to. For the most part, I was there, my hostels really weren't that far from the train station. Like, it might be a 20-30 minute walk, but it's doable. It's nothing like crazy. But when I got to Thessaloniki, Greece, oh my gosh, the hostel was like at the top of the hill. But guess what? That was in the reviews, and I read that, and I remember saying, I'm gonna give myself the challenge and walk up that bitch. But hey, it was in the reviews and I still went. And that brings me to reading the reviews. Like, read the reviews on Hostel World, because the ratings, they're good. They're a good guideline, but it really depends on how long the hostel been open. If they've been open for 40 years, like, they're going to have like hella reviews that can average out to it being good. But just read the most recent ones. Hostel World has it set up nice. Like, they always put the most recent ones at the top. All the hostels I stayed at, they had a review within that month of I was looking at. You can book them too through Hostel World. So you would just pay a little deposit, and if you want to avoid this deposit, you can go on like the actual hostel's website and book through them, but it'd be like $4 or $5. It don't be much to have the convenience to do it through the app. And make sure your dates overlap. When you book a checkout date, make sure your check-in date at your next place is the same day, and you don't have to pay it all up front. So it's good with planning because you don't have to pay it, like you're paying a little Hostel World reservation fee. I was able to book all of my hostels before I even left. I already knew where I was staying everywhere except Amsterdam. I booked that while I was in like Greece or something. Yeah, lock your stuff up. What I used to lock my stuff was a regular school combination lock, and on my bag I have like loops for like luggage locks. So I would lock that too, like, cause you know what I'm saying, you break into the locker, that you broke into my locker, now you gotta break into the bag. Like, you want to make it hard for a person, even if they want to do it, because people might try it. But some people will give up because they, you know what I'm saying, they got to sneak and do that shit. Like, make it hard for them to be able to just snatch and go. Don't leave much on your bed. Like, you're not at home. You're in the hostel. Remember that. But you can create great friends. When I was in Romania, I met some really cool people. We kicked it, like real life kicked it, like we did things together, and I feel like we created a real friendship after that. That can happen at hostels, but don't let it be your only method of trying to make a friend, because you might stay in the hostel and the vibe just don't be, you don't be feeling the vibe with nobody. The hostel is where you're supposed to sleep, take a shower, and keep your stuff. You don't really gotta kick it in there for real. If you ain't feeling it, leave. You should be out enjoying wherever you at anyway. Okay, food. This is an expense that can easily become your most expensive, or you can really make it as cheap as you want it to be. You can eat out all day, every day. You can go to the newest restaurants all day, every day. But don't forget that this trip is more of a survival, not live like you're on vacation, because that's how you go broke. When it's time to eat, what I did was I would try to go to the grocery store for at least 2 of my meals out the day. Sometimes I ate out the grocery store breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some days I ate out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you go in there, you know what I'm saying? Breakfast is easy to get out the grocery store. You can get some fruit, some bread, some Nutella. And for lunch, you can go sit down at a restaurant and really have the meal that you envisioned yourself having. But basically, the grocery store should be your favorite store when it's time to get something to eat, and still save your foodies, still go on TikTok. Literally, TikTok helps a lot on this trip if you're looking for somewhere cute to eat, but don't get fooled by TikTok, because looks can be deceiving and you might be eating some nasty shit in a pretty place. So yeah, I think that's all for food. Yeah, I'm not like a huge cook or anything, so I can cook. We ain't even gonna talk about all that. Just know I didn't really cook that much, but I still survived. Now I'm going to talk about the Eurail app. So it's called Rail Planner. Cool. So when you open the app, you can see it has from and to. Those are the stations at the top. And I never used any of these filters for real. And you can see like when you want to leave, which day, my trip. This is when you like create your own trip or whatever. You can see obviously mine is expired by now. This is the pass. And see, they didn't even use my last one. I don't know why, but okay, that's fine. So this is what helps you find each station that you want to go to. So you can just type in anything. Let's just do Thessaloniki to Athens. That's like a really quick train and it's very popular. Yeah, so we could just change it to Monday. So then you hit search. And then you're going to see all of these options. And you see seat reservation required, because you already bought your Eurail pass, so you have a ticket, but you also have to buy a seat reservation. It's a little fee, just pay the fee, you don't have no choice. With this seat reservation, it's best if you can get to the train station before it's time for you to leave and reserve your seat, especially when you're getting on a popular train. And most of the time the Eurail app has like, around the price it's going to be. This one right here, I remember it saying €7 and I got there and it was free. This was the only one that was free. Everywhere else I had to pay. My trip, this is just like where you save everything. Cool. So when save, like you want to ride, you want to leave at 5. So you hit save journey, and then when you go to my trip, it will be here, right here. So it makes it easier for you when you get to the train station and you're ready to get the ticket. When you talk to the person at the station to buy the seat reservation, you show them, this, you could tell them what time you want to go. Then they're going to ask you to see your pass. And this is when you pull this up. Obviously, it's not as much you will see, but it'll be like a little QR code, or they might write this pass reference down. And, that's how they access your ticket or whatever. So then you'll have all of them saved here. Another tip I recommend with this app, like I said, I remember I was telling y'all how I missed my train or whatever. So when I missed my train, I had this activated. So when it's activated and I didn't, you can cancel it within 24 hours, but obviously it was the time up, so I couldn't cancel it. Don't activate this ticket until you're like literally about to get on the train. So it won't, you can buy the seat reservation and all of that without activating the ticket. But don't activate the ticket until you know you are getting on the train to make sure you don't waste a train ride. That's pretty much it with this app. But I will go over these other apps that I really felt like that were really, really, really beneficial for me. Was this currency converter. This right here was absolutely amazing. It ties everything up for you really quickly. Currency converter is free and maps me. If you don't have service, you can download the map. You can like look at it offline. Google Translate, I used it a little bit. It was cool to like point my phone at something and be able to have it translate right then and there. That was pretty cool. Let's talk about money. Money, money, money. Everyone's favorite subject. This is what I have. Yours might be a little more or it might be a little less. So my flight from DC to Budapest and from Amsterdam to DC was a total of $1,050. The best way to buy this flight is to buy one-way tickets. Not that it's going to make it any cheaper, it's just going to necessarily make it easier on your pockets to just pay a $400 ticket, 1 month, and then maybe 2 months later buy the $500 ticket on the way back. It can really help. Like sometimes you might pay a little bit more just because you're waiting to buy that second flight. My parents bought my flight there for my graduation present, and I bought my flight home probably about a week before I left. Hostels, I spent $463. My Eurail ticket was $269. My flight from Greece to Switzerland was $180. My bus from Bulgaria to Greece was $20. So this puts me at a total of $1,982. The best way, this, now that I'm looking at it on paper, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a lot. Try to pay for as much stuff as you can before you leave. Like I said, my flight there was paid for, my flight home was paid for. The flight from Greece to Switzerland was paid for. My bus from Bulgaria to Greece was paid for. So all of that stuff was paid for. So I needed to get there and just do it type thing. You don't want to have to get there and be like, oh, dang, now I have to buy my flight here, or I need to buy a bus here. You want to have all your major purchases already done. Like everything that you're paying for there should be like which museum you want to go to, where do you want to eat, money. Cash. When you go into different countries every 4 to 5 days, you don't want to have too much of one country's cash because everywhere don't take the euro. Just use the ATM, take out as you need. I have Navy Federal and I didn't really have any issue with using my card there. I managed cash a lot better, so that's why I wanted cash. Getting it wasn't never too big of a hassle. It was just going to the ATM. You might pay a little conversion fee. Another thing is to, when you're managing your money through your bank account, keep everything in your savings and transfer it to your checkings as you need it. And it would kind of keep you on budget. If you say you want $50 for today, just transfer the $50 and you'll be, banking on that $50 all day, and I guarantee you're not going to use the whole $50 in one day unless you like doing a whole lot of crazy things. And another thing about the Eurail ticket and money. So every year, Eurail has a sale where the unlimited pass becomes $269. So if you don't know when you want to go, because when the sale happens, you can buy it and then sit on it. So you will have like a whole year to really plan this trip. So the bag I ended up backpacking around Europe with is a Osprey Fairpoint 55. I got this from like right off the Osprey website. It was on sale. This bag is amazing. It comes with its own day pack. And it was jam-packed. I had like everything in there. I had like 2 pairs of jeans, pair of pants, 3 pairs of shorts, like 6 shirts, 8 underwear, 8 socks, a jacket, first aid kit. I had a lot in there. When I flew internationally to and from Europe, I was able to use it as a carry-on, but when I did ride the plane from Greece to Switzerland, I did have to check it. One tip with packing in a bag like that, packing cubes, not necessarily to like condense anything, but more for organization. Like I had a packing cube just for my socks and underwear, and I had a packing cube for most of my shirts and my shorts. Everything else I kind of like packed around it. Another tip I will say is document this trip. I'm a photographer, so I have like all of Europe in like a bag. I vlogged too, you can see in my past videos. You could take pictures. I journaled while I was there. So find different ways to document your trip, because this is something that is going to be life changing, and you want to have all types of forms of documentation so you can go back and review it and see how you evolve throughout this trip, because you're not going to be the same when you come back if you go and do anything like this. I feel like any trip you do, you don't come back the same. I want to go over a couple things I wish I knew before doing this type of trip. I didn't really know anybody that actually backpacked through Europe personally. I watched plenty of YouTube videos just like the one I'm making right now, and you should do the same to help you. If you don't know anybody that like personally did it, on the Eurail app, you can like click the train that you're on, like the actual route, and it will tell you every stop. So you'll be able to like kind of like make a little estimate of when you're going to get there and be prepared to get off the train. SIM card. I should have bought a SIM card as soon as I got off the plane. I went just about my whole time in Budapest without a SIM card. I was just doing the Wi-Fi and it was a hassle. 25 gigabytes, good enough, I promise you. When you're going to popular countries and cities, make sure you get your seat reservation as soon as you possibly can. When I was trying to leave Paris and go to Amsterdam, it almost didn't happen. Like, shout out to the girl at the train station, because she really finessed me. I had to catch 3 trains, but that was my fault trying to book the train for the hour that I did that to myself. So when you go to popular countries and cities, do it early. You do have to go to the train station to get your seat reservation. I was not able to find any other way to do it online or buy it online and just show it when you get there. Every time I had to go to the train station, which is still good, because when you do that, you get to see like which route you can take to the train station. Like I said earlier, don't activate your ticket until you know you're getting on that train. They check your seat reservation before they check your ticket. Don't get too nervous at Border Patrol. They're just going to ask for your passport, where you going, where you coming from, get you the stamp, you on. You know what I'm saying? It's real quick. Just be ready. When you see them right there, don't wait until they get there and then try to look for your passport. Have it ready for them so they can just, you know what I'm saying? They got to check the whole train. Like, be respectful. If you want to go to sleep on the train, make sure you set an alarm to wake up, and make sure that accounts for delays and early departures. I went in during the off-peak time, so I went September, October. I will say be prepared to see a lot of construction being done. I think they do this because I feel like the tourist season is a little more down, or it could just because the shit is old as fuck. Like, and don't forget to take time to really be there. It was so many days I just sat down in the park, just being there, people watching. This is like time for you to really, you know what I'm saying? I trust my gut way more. Like, like I said, this is a life-changing experience, and I really hope everybody can come close to something like this. And you being there, like physically being there, is a really big part of it. It's hard to do sometimes, but you gotta figure that shit out. And really just be there and accept that you were able to do this trip. At the beginning of my trip, I had so many mistakes. I was just like, did I think I was ready? Did I, you know what I'm saying? Did I mess up by coming out here? But I stuck with it and I made it through, and it was the best time of my life. So I really hope this video helps you in any type of way with your planning of your Euro journey that you're going to take. And it's going to be amazing. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments. There definitely will be like film videos later as the time goes on.